Hi everyone, welcome back to Chels Treasures. In this vlog, I'm sharing my weekend staycation at Bai Hotel Cebu, a trip that was part school conference and part personal reset. It wasn't a sightseeing weekend, but it was healing, beautiful, and quietly inspiring. I didn't step out of the hotel for 2 whole days, and honestly, that was exactly what I needed. The trip began in a bit of a whirlwind. I had a very early flight from Ozamis and arrived just 5 minutes before the boarding gate closed. In my rush, I yanked my luggage out of the car and ended up spraining my wrist. Not the best start, but I made it. When I arrived in Cebu, the conference had already started. We were welcomed with a cheerful Cebuano jingle. I excused myself from the session just in time for Bai Hotel's 3 p.m. check-in. I headed straight to my room and of course, I filmed a little room tour. Bai Hotel is stunning, nestled between Mandaue and Cebu City, with spectacular views of both the harbor and skyline. The interiors are modern and chic. My room was cozy, well-designed and fully equipped with TV, fast Wi-Fi, and a secure lock system, and a bed that practically invited me to dive in. After the conference, I went up to the 21st floor where the pool bar is located. The view was magical. The city lights glittered below, and above me, a perfectly round moon and stars sparkled in the night sky. I had dinner there with a few drinks, just soaking it all in. I didn't mind being alone. This trip was my chance to rest, breathe, and reset. I was nursing a bad cough that had lingered for a few weeks, but it didn't stop me from enjoying a peaceful evening that felt like quiet healing. The next morning, I headed down for the breakfast buffet, and wow, Bai Hotel offers a global spread with authentic flavors from different countries. I couldn't eat as much as I wanted to because of my cough, but the food and variety were impressive. I spent most of that day just resting in my room. No plans, no agenda, just pure staycation mode. Doing absolutely nothing and loving every minute of it. As the sun set, I returned to the pool bar. I tried different drinks, a little treat to myself. It was one of those moments where you pause, breathe, and feel present. That night, I took an antihistamine before bed, and it knocked me out so well that I didn't even hear my alarm. I woke up just an hour before my flight. I rushed to check out, booked a grab, and thankfully made it to the airport just in time. Back in Ozamis, I returned to work with a renewed inspiration from the amazing speakers and professionals I met at the conference. This trip reminded me how vital it is to take time for yourself, to slow down, reflect, and reset. Thanks for joining me on this quiet but meaningful weekend staycation. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Chels Treasures, where we collect not just places, but the peace and moments that stay with us. Bye!